I mean, Riley Cooper, I mean, like, that dude deserves a statue. I mean, like,
number one on your speed dial.
Hey, I'll tell you what, like, I mean, I didn't know until a couple days after the fact. I was like, wait a minute, is he the MVP or like we got the alternative team?
No doubt about it.
And then Ty Floyd, when I struck out 17, and like stole it from him. But I was like, when has a pitcher like been a part of like 5 of the 6 wins in Omaha? I mean, what a performance!
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time.
Pleasure.
Yes, sir.
Starting a little late, boys, at the spring game, obviously, as you can see. Couple of booze cruises here to do. Let's pit, cruise, grand salami to the boys, finally back on track. And I got another one coming. Don't you think I don't? And that's how we roll in Tiger Stadium.
Just watching the spring games that were on television, one thing that jumped out about your squad is your quarterback room is very talented compared to a lot of the league and a lot of the country. I wonder, is it easier to recruit that position when you have talent or when you don't have talent? Coach Kelly, we're official.
Finally,
I'm
get a
telling
chance to meet you. Thought I had to get a private audience with the Pope. There's Jordy.
Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time.
Tearing up, answering the question, I thought, my God, if Chica is offered this job, she's going to take it.
It's just a crazy, fun time at LSU right now. Isn't this what everybody loves?
From the boot to the east to the west coast, no matter where we at, open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show. Yeah.
Let's go! Let's go!
All right.
Big day. Big day.
Nice start.
It's the Jordy Culotta Show. Come have a good time.
Coach, it's great to meet you.
Thanks, sir.
Thank you for the time. Welcome into a Friday edition of the Jordy Culotta Show, live here from our Click Here digital campus, and as always, built by our friends over at RMB Builders. Check out RMB online at rmb-builders.com, or you can find them on Instagram at RMB Builders as well. Welcome into a Friday show, a football Friday show. We're looking forward to it, as it's going to be a big one. We got Ben Mintz going to have his 6-pack of winners. Benny hot last weekend. Benny in the bets from Barstool will be back here at 8:30 this morning. 7:30 we will talk to Shea Dixon, who will be live in studio with us So we're looking forward to talking to Shea. Big recruiting weekend for LSU on campus. We'll get a visitor list and kind of a state of recruiting here during this week, as well as break down this huge college football weekend as we roll into the stretch and the slate that begins tomorrow. That will really kind of keep you locked in all day. Lloyd is here on this Friday morning. Stewie is here on this Friday as well. Stewie's still trying to get his
Got a little sky view.
Yeah,
Sky view.
Working over here.
You got a great hairline, Stuart. Thank God.
Yeah.
We're going
In
to
case
talk.
you had questions.
We're also going to talk to Dr. Sean Bradley from Ochsner real quick. We'll get our medical minute with our doc from Ochsner, our friends over at Ochsner as well. We'll remind you about the Grove Complex being open every Saturday morning for high school athletes. We'll see representation for Ochsner all over the field on Friday night. So we'll talk to Dr. Bradley a little bit about what's going on over there. But a huge one tomorrow at LSU. Want to start there. Lloyd and I were talking, the crew and I were talking. Nothing better than a big game on Saturday evenings in Baton Rouge on a crisp fall Saturday, right? I mean, we didn't celebrate the 21st of September yesterday. Shout out to Earth, Wind, and Fire, one of the great songs of all time.
Well, you get all of it tomorrow.
Tomorrow it feels like setting up for me, there's nothing better than like a Saturday morning bike ride. Just kind of checking it all out. The tailgates that have been out there since Friday night, the tailgates that get there early Saturday morning, the people that are rolling in onto campus. You can feel the buzz, you can smell the food, you can hear the sounds. I mean, all of what goes into these big games. And this is why, really, I don't ever believe that college football will lose the big game aspect of it. For as much as the product is being washed and changed and moved around, it will forever have this last of on-campus big game that you'll just never be able to mess with, in my opinion. Hopefully that is a theory that is proved right, and there is nothing that can destruct a college football big game Saturday, because it's awesome. I mean, it's as good, in my opinion, as American sports can provide you. I heard Trent Dilfer earlier this week. Dilfer is the head coach at UAB, and they play Georgia this weekend. They're going into Athens this weekend, and he was asked about a SEC environment, and he kind of cuts the question off, and he said, I've only been to one SEC night game. His daughter was being recruited, I believe, in either swimming or volleyball for Alabama, and they went on an official visit to Tuscaloosa and went to a big game on Alabama's campus, and he said it's better than the Super Bowl. It's the biggest college, it's the biggest football environment that he's ever seen. And LSU, in my opinion, is going to be the backdrop of that tomorrow night. And quite simply, when LSU does it on a Saturday night, it's incomparable to anybody in the country. And I believe tomorrow night is setting up for one of those epic feeling of all-day tailgating, one of those magical days out there where you can spend the day, catch all the games, get all the sights, have the lead up to a big game, and walk into Tiger Stadium at 5:55 and watch what could be a big time performance. To me, that's as good.
That's a day.
That's the cream. That's when you get that kind of fed to you. That's Camelot, in my opinion, where you got a night game, you got great weather, you've got a full slate of college football in front of you, and you've got LSU's campus to serve as the
host,
the backdrop of it. I mean, cheers to everyone. We're here. We made it. We're in football season. LSU's hosting a big one tomorrow night. They're kind of feeling themselves this week, right? I mean, they're coming off of a big performance where it seems like if they're going to start to stack good weeks on top of one another and start to build the confidence moving into October, moving into November, these are the types of weeks that you really have to You got to execute. You got to get better. You got to feed off of what happened last week and continue that on, right? The defense. I heard yesterday Whit Weeks is going to start. It's going to be good to see him back in a role starting there in the middle of the defense to get him more experience first, more frontline, situations of playing SEC football and getting the size, the speed, the intensity of it, and getting him better week in, week out. Because whether Spates is going to be able to come back or whether his injury is going to continue to keep him on the shelf, LSU is going to have to develop that position, and he seems like he's the best one for it. It's going to be as good as LSU, the campus tomorrow can provide. We'll get into the game here. Are we ready with Dr. Bradley? Dr. Sean Bradley from Oshner. Just want to get our medical minute real quick from our friends over at Oshner. Remember, we remind you every week here on the Culotta Show, every day on the Culotta Show, about our friends over at Oshner Andrews Sports Medicine Clinic. You can find them online at oshner.org/sports medicine. They've got their Saturday mornings clinic open. They open up at 8 a.m. until 10:30. So if you have a high school athlete that gets banged up tonight, may suffer an injury or maybe has something that you need to be looked at, you can take them over to Oshner on Saturday mornings, 8 a.m. to 10:30 over there at the Grove Complex, located on Bluebonnet. All their professionals over there. We've been talking to different doctors each week on specialties. We will talk to Dr. Bradley again this morning a little bit about some of the injuries that may be plaguing college football, or more of the rehab of some of the injuries we've been talking about, a little bit more awareness on concussion here for a Friday night, and what's going to be going on prep high school fields, and bring you the awareness of what's going on Saturday morning over at Oshner at the Grove Complex. We good, Stewie, with Dr. Bradley? Not yet? All right, just give me a thumbs up when we're ready to go there. So, but tomorrow, right?
We made fun of I don't want to say made fun of, but we're taking a peek at what campus gave you on a Grambling game, where you're like, man, these people are already out here at 6 a.m. on Saturday. And I was like, that's what makes it special. I wouldn't be in Baton Rouge if it wasn't for LSU football. This is the reason I stayed here. This is the team I wanted to cover. I really wouldn't be in the profession if it wasn't for this, because of those Saturday mornings and every time you go to campus. When you just walked around as a kid, you get the same feeling as when you were 7, as when you were 27 to 77. It doesn't change.
I probably got the wrong email.
Oh, that's okay. We'll just get the right email.
I'll send it to you right now.
Yeah, just text it to me. I'm struggling over here.
You got a lot going on. But hell. But that's the reason that I love, you only get a finite amount of these every year. And you go and you look at the calendar, you're like, oh, maybe not Georgia State. I go to all of them. But there's people that pick and choose. And by the way that this kind of, I guess, season started, it felt like the Grambling game was, I was there early, and it was desolate. The campus wasn't really, it was the elite of the tailgaters that were I go no matter what. It was that crew. This, with the win against Mississippi State, it feels like there's optimism again. And so you get a sneaky good home game where it doesn't, I don't know if the game would have been as alive as it's going to be on Saturday, but because of the way LSU played at Mississippi State, it feels like that there's life injected into the program again for the season, because it's wide open, and that's when you get a mixture of LSU could be extremely good. It's a night game in Tiger Stadium. It's the first one. It's the first conference game at home, and that is a recipe for an absolute delight of a day and night, and you just can't beat it.
It's as good as the city can provide.
It's all we got.
It's everything we got.
It's our best punch.
It's our Skeens fastball,
and we throw it six or seven times a game.
This is everything we got in the tank.
And it's glorious.
But it's magical. Really. People that experience it for the first time, I would take people, if you're coming in tomorrow for the first time, to me, it sets up as an epic experience. If you're bringing somebody to Tiger Stadium tomorrow for the first time, it'll be one that you can remember forever. I just think that tomorrow, with the weather, with the slate of games, with the way that LSU's playing right now, with the kickoff time, it gives you this just perfect kind of walk into Tiger Stadium at 6 o'clock after you've seen a lot of the day, and there's still games to be played.
And then you get to see the Tigers play after you get to be
That's what I'm
juiced up.
saying.
It's
just one of
foreplay
those
up until
days, man. It's one of those
let's
days.
walk in and you feel so good going into the stadium. And that's what I don't understand. It's I guess a little bit of last year is still in me. Where,
You got me wanting to go to the game.
Exactly, you got to go.
But it's
Right.
Herb Street.
LSU, send us our cut.
Yeah.
It's Herb Street and Fowler on the call.
Yeah, you
That's
put
It's
your head-
everything.
yeah.
That's
It's
what gives me.
everything. I'm telling
Record
you,
it.
tomorrow is as
No,
good
I
as it
can't.
gets.
I don't DVR at my apartment.
You got food. It'll be on it'll be on YouTube.
Yeah,
Oh,
bro. but
what's your dilemma? Why are you not going?
my dilemma is I like to watch the
So do I,
broadcast.
Stewie. So do I.
Yeah,
So do I. I
like
mean,
that.
I get that. I get
Yeah,
that.
that's where I'm at.
But
I haven't been to LSU. I haven't been
would you
inside the
take
stadium
it?
this season.
Like tomorrow, I would go tailgate. Like I would go ride my bike out there from
I need a bike. Anybody got a bike?
noon to.
I'll
I mean,
pick
can
you
rent 'em-
up.
You can rent them in the city, bro.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Get a scooter.
Kind of banned from those things though.
Okay, well, I mean, I can't help you there.
Yeah. Well,
Get a scooter.
Jordy used up all of his favors.
But you could.
Jesus. Hey, look, all right.
Hey, I'm clean now.
Yeah, right. What's going on here?
Got my bike.
But like tailgate and then like throw the bike in the back of the truck and go home for the game.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
like I mean,
You're right.
I mean, I
might
just
go
think
meet
I
Lloyd
just
out
think
there.
tomorrow is as
The day of days.
if you're in it, if you look for and even like you're somebody like me, I'm a bandwagoner. I mean, I'm a front runner, right? I mean, I'm only going to the big games. I'm only sitting in the suite. I'm only doing it, you know, at a tier level, right? I mean, tomorrow I'm in. I'm in.
10 out of 10.
I'm all in. Right? I can't promise you I'll be there for the Florida or Auburn game.
Coach, I'm here today.
Right?
Wait.
But you got me captivated tomorrow.
Right now.
And I'm all in. And it's all of it. It's not just the way that the team's playing.
It's
like
the
it's
whole
the
thing.
weather. It's the slated games. It's everybody I've talked to is going out there, which, you know, I mean, is really kind of the
That's the pull.
I mean, it's just it's if you're not going tomorrow, I want to say LSU women are running like an open court on the P. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that.
They might be
I
opening
think like you'll
something
be able to
tomorrow.
like watch them practice for a little bit tomorrow. Am I wrong on that?
Recruiting weekend, so
Huge recruiting weekend. I think she's got the number 2 player in the country. In
She
town.
does.
these coaches, they don't stop. Kim
Jay
Mulkey,
Johnson
Jay
got a
Johnson
big picture last night out of Baton Rouge.
got 2 big pictures the last 2 days.
One that you cook in, one from Catholic High. I would imagine he'll be out there. Gada.
He's probably been going to LSU games
I'm
since
sure
he was
he's been
12.
Yeah, Jay Johnson's going to be out there working the ticket booth as always. So don't worry. If you don't know where to go, find Jay. He'll help you out.
Kim Mulkey will be out here.
Kim Mulkey will be out
working
there.
her tickets.
She's if you run into Kim Mulkey, you basically you're signed up for a women's season, like a season pass for the women's basketball
might as well.
team. Because she ain't letting you leave without
You
it.
don't have them season tickets?
I don't know why you out here supporting this. I just won a national championship. Get a new stadium. Need it all.
Not yet. Got the right email, but not yet.
I do
No
want to
joy.
ask him about a lacerated spleen.
Who?
Ooh.
To see
that?
what? No, that Travis Hunter.
Lacerated
How you
liver.
read that? I mean,
What's
I
it?
think he
is it
lacerated his liver.
Oh God,
Yeah.
you can't get a new liver.
Yeah, it's bad.
You
It's,
can take a spleen out, right?
is he just gonna miss 2 weeks?
I mean, the way he went down, it looked like it was.
It looks like something weird happened.
I
Yeah.
can't believe he went back in the game.
Oh, the doctors got him real quick.
They're like, hey, Travis, come on.
Yeah,
That- But that's what I love about Travis Hunter. Like, I was talking to somebody about it last night, and like, as many snaps as he plays, he still plays hard every snap. Like, it's never I'm taking this play
Oh,
off.
dude,
like,
I mean, the TCU game.
yeah, the TCU game is
I mean,
the
you
best
could,
example.
He could opt out after the TCU game.
Right.
I mean, like,
Chase the dude down,
you're
and
a
I'm gonna
top
catch
5
the
pick.
pick.
Don't worry about it. I
Yeah.
mean, that guy he's the best player in college football, right?
Yeah, I
I
mean,
mean, the best football player,
for sure.
right? Like, I mean, Caleb Williams is the best quarterback in college football and going to be the number 1 pick. But the best football player
it's Travis
is
Hunter.
Travis Hunter. I mean,
Like-
you lose him, you lose 2 players.
Yeah. I mean, scouts are probably like crying right now. They probably called Dion and said, "Sit him down."
Yeah, I mean,
Like-
Dion's right. No.
Sorry,
You see what he
can't.
said about Shador? He's not going pro.
He ain't number 2 to nobody.
This guy's not running back seat to Caleb Williams.
Caleb Williams and Drake May currently.
Coach, the more tape he puts out there, the more argument
yeah,
Drake May's got. He's got him hot on him.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, because if I'm an NFL scout, that's exactly what I want.
Yeah, and if he does it against Oregon, USC, you gotta kind of put him ahead of Drake May because, like, besides Florida State and Clemson, that's
Drake
the only
May
2
is
defenses.
like the way he throws the ball is special.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Like it is. It's art.
When I saw him throw that ball,
Right, exactly. I saw that boy throw that ball.
Let's throw that ball.
But Shador's got that too, man.
yeah, when he throws
Like
it, it's like
Shador's got that, and Shador's got that just kind of like ability to, like to me, he is throwing these wide receivers open. Like these wide receivers deserve a lot of credit, and I'm not trying to take anything away from him, but the way that he's able to keep plays alive behind a offensive line that is horrific. They're terrible.
shaky at best.
I mean, no, they're terrible.
I know.
They're terrible.
I'm giving him a little credit.
It's all him.
Like you're able to if a quarterback's scrambling, moving, and the wide receiver is able to like kind of keep running around out there, it's tough for a DB to cover anybody for 4, 5, 6, 7 seconds.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like it's tough to keep up with somebody, and then when you got a laser like Shador does, when he stops, sets his feet, stands up straight, coach, that's a beautiful. Like that is. If I'm a pro, I'm like, hey, that's exactly what we're looking for.
Yeah. He has like a little bit of like Tom Brady to him. Like that's the only comp I could have for him. Like he has a little.
See who
Tom.
his mentor is?
Yeah,
Tom.
I know, but like he has a little Tom to him because when you see when like the guy hit Travis Hunter, he goes get in his face.
Yeah,
like not even a lineman.
And the way he
Shador.
gets up from being hit, like he gets up like Brady will hop like kind of burrow. Like you didn't get me.
Yeah,
like
cool.
you didn't hurt me.
You hit me hard. Cool.
Right.
Like.
I mean, the more I see of Shador,
I love him.
The more I'm falling in love with him. And if Caleb Williams is really serious, which I don't think he is, about saying he potentially could go back, but I got to imagine that there is some businessman in LA that would love to say, I paid Caleb Williams to come back for his senior year, and he could pay him, I don't know,
he wants.
$3 or $4 or $5 million, whatever it may be. If that happens, I think that Shador Sanders is in the discussion
for the number 1 pick.
Like, no question about it, as the number 1 pick.
Yeah. I've seen some smoke, though, that the Vikings are trying to get in the Caleb Williams sweepstakes by
the
tanking.
Vikings could use both of them now.
But think about the Vikings with Caleb Williams.
I mean, that's what they need.
Yeah, that's
the Kirk experiment is
it's over.
Well, this is what you get every year. They're playing the exact same brand of football they played last year. The offense is good, but they just put themselves in close games. And last year they won them. This year they're losing them. And that's what Kirk does. He'll keep you in a game, but it's so tough.
He'll
for
never
him.
win you a game.
Right. I mean, he's been labeled as like primetime Kirk, but for all the wrong reasons. Like every time he played in primetime, the first one he got was against the Saints in the playoffs.
Gross.
And that was like the push off in the overtime to the tight end, the corner of the end zone. That was his first primetime win. He's been in the league for 8 years.
Was that Kyle Rudolph?
He reminds me a lot of, and not from a skill set standpoint, but Jamarcus was so much better when he got outside the pocket. You knew a big play was going to happen.
Oh God, I remember
like you
that
could count
feeling.
on it.
Get
like
ready.
when he would do that thing where he would stand up straight and then he would spin. He would spin out to his left, and he would in his head was always
looking,
and he would keep the ball. Hand on the trigger. You know what I mean? Like, go ahead and somebody break and see what happens. I'm going to put this thing through you. You know what I mean? Like, Shador kind of has that
deeper.
same.
Yeah.
He's got that same kind of. But Shador is more of like a natural quarterback.
Yeah, he's more of like a pocket passer. Like, he has pocket passing, like, skill set.
Absolutely. I mean, like, he's big time.
Well, they asked Dion about it because there's a clip that came out. It's like, you got a football field in your backyard? This when they were little. He's like, yeah, I mean, he was naming other professions. Like, don't they have? Oh, yeah. He's like, didn't Bill Gates have a computer in his house for his kids? And he's like, he probably got a football field for his kids. Like, that's what they're going to do. And so when they asked about like the 98-yarder, he's like, Shador's been doing this his whole life. He was born to play quarterback, and he's been playing quarterback. He's been in that moment before, so I wasn't fazed, and he wasn't fazed. And then he had a Zoom call with Tom Brady.
I saw that.
After he posted him
I saw that.
his Rolls Royce. He's like, he needs to get his ass out the car and in the film room.
And that was good to hear.
Yeah.
Like, that really was, because that was kind of awkward. Like that.
Well,
that
yeah, but you know what you're getting with
no,
Prime.
but like that moment with Dion, his son, and Tom Brady, where like Dion was like, "You tell him, Tom." You know, like where it was, and you could tell Tom was like, like if I was to tell him something, it would be like, "Man, get out of that Maybach."
Yeah.
Get in the film room. Get with your teammates, and like Shedeur kind of like tries to like go back at Tom.
Yeah, he's like,
I saw you in one, and like
Tom
was
was
like, yeah, after 5 rings, I got
he
one.
was like, it was a rental.
Yeah,
I got a little money in the bank.
yeah. I mean, it was.
But that's what you can see. You can see that's a great relationship if Shedeur feels comfortable enough to be like, Tom, I saw you in one too, and he's like, yeah, but it was a rental. He's like, it's all good. But I mean, that's what. I mean, you know how Tom is. He's big on the film room. That's his whole deal.
Right, but
and
I think is great for Shedeur.
Yeah, but I know he's already doing it.
You could tell he's already.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's smart, man.
Like,
he's savvy.
Ooh,
Like that 98-yard drive.
that thing is.
That's not just skill. I mean,
that's-
there's a lot of people that can just throw the ball that would never be able to orchestrate a 98-yard drive in that setting. Like, not only do you got to go 98, we got to have it.
we gotta have.
Like,
With the world against
like
you.
we got to have it. Like,
Like,
if we
if
don't
we
have
lose-
it, we're gonna look like a bunch of pricks this week because we've been running our mouth, wearing sunglasses. Like, we've been doing the Rock's here, Lil Wayne's here. Like, we got to have it.
Lil Wayne brought us out. What are you talking about? He ain't even in
And for
Louisiana.
him to perform in that moment,
That's
you know,
prom
like,
time.
that's like where I think that to an NFL scout, you're like,
Okay.
yeah, I'll
I
take
mean,
him.
how many people in the country? You got to. I wonder if there's like people like. I wonder if Drake May could do that.
Yeah. You've never seen him in that
You know,
environment,
you've never
really.
seen him in that setting do that. I wonder if Caleb Williams could do that.
Caleb Williams was in that situation last year and didn't.
He was. You
didn't
know what?
deliver.
Caleb Williams was in it the first time you ever saw him. Remember they put him
Yeah.
in the Red River in Oklahoma,
and he picks,
Texas,
and he picks the fumble up and just runs like just starts.
and he gets that
He
fourth down.
won the job.
Yeah,
Shit, I mean, like he won. I mean, Spencer Rattler was done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he-
kicked him out of town.
he
Yeah.
ran Spencer Rattler out of town
on that game.
Yeah,
Like
Damn.
they kept showing Rattler, and Rattler was like,
fuck.
Rattled.
I gotta get a moving
I gotta,
company.
I gotta
can
get out of here.
Can I transfer now?
They probably cleaned my locker out already. Damn it.
Yeah, I've got to go. Well, who needs a quarterback? But that's what the Caleb Williams experiment started, was in the biggest game of
His life.
Oklahoma,
probably.
Texas, and he goes 60 yards on a quarterback draw, and it was sunshine scooter after that. Like, this is my team. You could see the team poke up too whenever he got into the game, because they kept trying to put Rattler back in, and it just wasn't the same. And then Caleb Williams just eventually got the job.
See, I like Caleb Williams, but I like a part of me just doesn't know if like his style will still play in the NFL because everybody can run, everybody could do what
Yeah,
he
but
like.
dude, he's got a cannon.
He does have a cannon, but it's about like Bryce Young creates in the pocket, and you see how that's going in Carolina, which Bryce Young is much smaller than Caleb Williams, probably not that much smaller, but smaller than him. But I just think like the way he plays,
They play the same style of football.
right? They play the same style, and you see that style does not work against elite NFL defenses. Like that, it just doesn't. Like, it's just not sustainable to me.
Oh yeah, I can see what you're saying, because they try to create, and they get on you so much faster than in college. Because Caleb Williams will
I
sit
just
back
think
there.
he's big, strong, and
Yeah.
Yeah,
I just
he
think
is.
he's-
I mean, you take him one.
Yeah, but like,
I mean, like some of the plays he's made,
yeah,
you're like,
Jesus.
wow. There's only a couple people that can do that.
But I just like most of those plays, he's standing back there for 10 seconds,
yeah.
15 seconds, and it's like, Coach, you ain't gonna have that much time in the NFL.
That's true. That's true.
Like Michael Parsons is coming.
You gotta get the ball out of your hand quick.
Yeah.
Like Michael Parsons ain't letting you stand back there for 10 seconds.
All right, Shea just bailed.
Damn, Shea.
What's going on? Are we
I'm-
fumbling the bag here with Dr. Bradley?
Doc has the link.
Okay, all right. Maybe he's been called into something medically.
Beeper's going off.
Hit my beeper.
That thing had to have it back in the day.
Oh man, that's how we got in touch with each other.
Yeah. If you look-
We got some sound bites from Brian Kelly. We're going to get to that from yesterday. Brian Kelly was on his radio show last night, and he was also on the last press engagement that you hear from him during game week. Remember, daily, we are brought to you by our friends over at Go Roof, GEAUXroof.com. You can find Go Roof online, or you can call them at 927-8300. That is a 225 area code for you. You get a two-year free workmanship guarantee with all new roof installations with our friends over at Go Roof. A beautiful roof every single time. That is residential roofing, commercial roofing, or if you need your roof repaired, you can get in touch with Go Roof, and they'll have a professional out to see you today. They got 15 years of experience, over 15 years of experience. They offer free and quick roof inspections, so when you call them, you'll get one of those professionals to jump up on the roof, diagnose it for you. If you need a new roof, they'll Get on it immediately. They'll work directly with the insurance company, so they'll take the headaches out of it. And you get a beautiful roof every single time when you work with Go Roof. Online, GEAUX, roof.com, 225-927-8300. 225-927-8300 is the phone number. Get in touch with Go Roof and tell them you heard it here on the Culotta Show. Here's Brian Kelly speaking yesterday to the press as he is getting ready for his SEC home opener with LSU hosting Arkansas. Gives an update on some injuries and what practice has been like this week for LSU.
It's probable. I think Ovi is a probable for sure. And I think Omar, I don't know what his status. I'd probably keep him where he was. He was what was he, doubtful? Probable. I would probably downgrade him to doubtful. I think those are the three. Was there anybody else? That's it. Those are three. Other than that, guys prepared. We had two hard days on Tuesday and Wednesday. Good energy today, and we'll have another day tomorrow, and looking forward to playing in Tiger Stadium.
Does not sound like Omar Speights is going to go for LSU. I wouldn't anticipate Mason Taylor out there, and it sounds like Ovi Agofu could
Mason
be.
Taylor is probable.
Yeah,
Probable?
I'd probably give Mason Taylor a go.
A go?
Yeah, he was dressed out last week. They just didn't play him.
Mm-hmm. Speaking of Mason Taylor, here's his thoughts on the tight end room. Yesterday, Brian Kelly speaking about that position. Bless you, Stewie. What number is it? Two.
Lloyd doesn't know his numbers. He doesn't know how to count.
Learned that they're all young, and they're all learning. There's, look, there's talent certainly there, but there's a lot of growth, and we enjoy coaching them. Coach Denbrock, Terry Malone gets a chance to spend a lot of time with them, but there's a lot of teaching, a lot of growth, and every day is one step towards getting a little bit closer to where we need to be with a young group. Certainly, we were in that boat last year with Mason, and we saw great improvement throughout the year, and I suspect that we'll see the same thing with this younger group of tight ends that we have.
I love the group. I got to be honest. Watching them last week, man, I know that they're young, and I know that they're going to make freshman and first-year mistakes, but it is a solid group when you look at the youth that was out on the field last week. They all three played, and McGowan, Pimpton, and obviously Markway got the start. But it's a group that, a lot like Mason Taylor last year, where you had a small amount of growing pain for a first-year player having so much responsibility. Not as much responsibility with Taylor hopefully being back in action and being that guy that, is the number one threat. But, getting enough playing time and experience where you're understanding, what you're in, whether it's the speed, the sizes, whatever, the venues, traveling on the road, what goes into, just kind of seeing something for the first time, in growing and developing that room into all of the experience that LSU will have. Not even like down the line, like next year, like further down the line this year. I mean, like this season, I think that they will have a group that is very much refined because of the amount of playing time that they're getting. KJ Jefferson is a big, strong quarterback for Arkansas that presents a hell of a threat for LSU defensively. Kelly was asked in preparation for Jefferson compared to a guy like Jordan Travis in week 1 versus Florida State. What's the difference?
Yeah, so, your defensive game plan certainly has to change a little bit when you don't have the threat of read option, certainly a quarterback that can get out on the perimeter and break, contain, and extend plays. We were much more concerned with some other things that Rodgers brings relative to experience and we weren't really sure relative to the offensive structure, and you have to prepare for some other things in terms of third down and nickel and things of that nature and dime. But yeah, the primary concern here is his dual threat. And so similar to Jordan Travis, who we played at Florida State, you have to have those mechanisms within your defensive structure. So, we'll pull some of those things, and we did this week that, that you have to have on alert, for your defense.
KJ Jefferson he's different than what LSU will play all season long. Maybe the closest comparison would be Jalen Milroe. I mean, Jefferson is not the run threat that Milroe is, but he's big and just this physical. He's just big in the pocket. I guess if you get to him, you're going to have to. I mean, you're probably going to have to get there in numbers. I mean, I've seen more people just bounce off of KJ Jefferson.
Yeah, I was about to say I wouldn't even put Milroe in that conversation. I would Milroe's a little slighter.
Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, Anthony Richardson
is fair.
Probably a perfect comp for KJ, but a little, Anthony Richardson might be a little more athletic.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. But I'm talking about
comp.
size and like you saw what Anthony Richardson did against LSU last year. So they faced somebody with this body type to where you saw when they tried to talk about bouncing off of people. LSU was trying to get to the football instead of wrapping up, and Anthony Richardson took it 80 instead of should have been 15.
And so 10.
KJ Jefferson's that same type of player to where if he gets in the open field, they love to run him. They run him 15 times a game.
Probably not the speed.
No, but he's like a Tebow type runner where it's power, it's down, it's in your
between
face.
The hashes.
Yeah, and
that's the worst type of quarterbacks to tackle too.
And he can throw it too. Mm-hmm. So you'll see. I mean, that's if you're LSU, I think it's a good matchup stylistically though because LSU's been running that 3 linebacker set where there's going to be a lot of bodies in the middle. So KJ's going to have to fight for it.
This is the bite that really stood out from yesterday of Brian Kelly talking about some of the adjustments that have been made since the opening week at Florida State, where LSU looks a lot different now going into this Arkansas game.
Yeah, look, we're still trying to find consistency in who we are. Again, when you talk about the identity of a football team, you make some assumptions about your football team, and I think I made some assumptions that were not accurate, and that was really a fault of mine in terms of the way I prepared the football team. And so we've made some tweaks and adjustments like anybody would along the way to prepare our football team in a manner that when it's time to play, they play with a competitive edge. Not only execute, not only, do the things necessary to win football games, but play with a competitive edge. And I think we've seen that come together over, the course of the last couple of weeks. And we need to continue to do that with consistency. So that's what we're going to try to do again this weekend. But that's what everybody's trying to do in college football, and that's be consistent.
I think that's one of the characteristics of a Brian Kelly team. Josh Pate yesterday, who covers college football and does it and has his show Late Kick with Josh Pate that you can find on YouTube, he expressed that as well. Brian Kelly's teams, notoriously, they have the reputation of they improve weekly. We saw it here in Baton Rouge last season. And the way that they started the season, I think look, Brian Kelly, as he said there, he had some expectations that he was off on. He had some things that he thought was going to work out one way that didn't necessarily work out the way that he thought it would. And they're making those adjustments and being able to kind of tinker and put the people in the right spots to find the best version of the team as fast as possible. And I think that is obvious. And, I think when you go back and you kind of go back and listen to what the reaction was, just from this show is all I can really speak of because we were here giving our reaction, and it's a hyperbolic spot, right? I mean, it's very reactionary in what you see and who's out there and what's going on. But the tone was always there is you got the formula, you got the people, you have the wherewithal to make this happen. Just what is taking so long to get there? And it's fair to think that when you're inside of it, you want to find the best way to do it. And if it's not, it may take you a second or two to realize that. I mean, the Harold Perkins experiment in the middle, it still is somewhat just mesmerizing to me that someone of that caliber of expertise and that experience, it takes them a little bit longer to say, hey, it's just not working. Like that's the part of that soundbite that I get, I like, I hear.
Right.
And I'm not trying to go back and be retro critical. Like it's all working out. They're figuring it out.
I mean, he thought he put his best 11 on the field.
Right.
And that's what he was saying. And obviously, I was impressed by the reporter kind of holding him to task for what he said in a post-game presser. Is like, we're not as good as we thought we were. And that's a blanket statement for the entire year, is what he made it sound like. Like, that's what you hear in the moment. But I think he did a good job of explaining, like, look, that's what I felt like after that game. There's no reason we can't change and get better. And the thing that I think we were frustrated about when you talk about this LSU team is, why weren't you seeing these guys play earlier? That you see a Wes Weeks, you see a Denver Harris, you see like different people that get plugged in and play, Chris Hilton, like whoever it is, you get Logan Diggs, like you see all these players that are around that you didn't see in week one. And that's the biggest criticism is you had players, you just didn't play them. And now, is that a development thing? What did you do in spring and fall? Or is it we thought we had found out our best 11 and that we were ready to go into that game, and now, oh wait, we're not as good as we thought we were. Let's go back to the drawing board and see who wants to compete.
Arkansas leads the league in sacks. They're coming in here with a defensive line that'll get after the passer. This is going to be a challenge for the offensive line. Kelly was asked about that yesterday, about whether his group up front is ready for the challenge. 6, Dewey.
6. No 6 on here. Lloyd can't count. 7.
It's on the flash drive.
Is it 7?
No, it's 6. It's on the flash drive. Oh, my man didn't even plug it in.
I downloaded them from the email.
All right.
All right.
We'll take a break, come right back here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Remember, daily, we're brought to you by our friends over at Hughes Mechanical. Hughes Mechanical AC online. Hughes Mechanical AC is where you can get in touch with them. HughesMechanical.net online is where you can find them. Get in touch with Travis Hughes, and he can help you out today. They can get out and help you in residential and commercial air conditioning services. 225-658-2147. A trusted Daikin dealer over there at Hughes Mechanical. HughesMechanical.net. HughesMechanical.net. We'll be back with more of the show built by R&B live here on this Friday.
Ball.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Thanks.
And we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. GoMart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Ochsner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Ochsner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one: you. Ochsner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot.
Oh, yeah.
Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, or a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up! Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's smell great from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Malik Neighbors, a wide receiver.
Favorite pregame meal?
Popeyes.
What would winning a national championship mean to you?
It would mean a lot to me because, we've seen a lot of the greats come through here, won their national championship, got, remembered for life.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Probably fly. That or telekinesis.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever received?
Do it wrong, do it long. Do it right, do it light. Kyra Lacey, wide receiver, number 2.
Do you have any nicknames?
K2.
What's the best piece of advice that you've ever been given?
Stay humble.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Fly. I be flying in my dreams.
What's been the highlight of your partnership with us?
The bike giveaway was one of the best things. I was pretty excited about that one. Texas A&M, I just got a point to prove because last year I dropped 2 balls I should have caught. I'm coming for them for real.
That's it. Thank you, man.
My name is Harold Perkins, and I play linebacker.
What's your favorite pre-game meal or snack?
Pasta with a little steak, something that's not too heavy.
Any superstitions or pre-game rituals?
I pray a lot. Just be me and God before the game. Perky worky. I like when they call me the percolator. I like that.
If anyone gets in a wreck, who should they call?
Gore.
Where were you born at, Greg?
Hattiesburg, Mississippi. But I claim 5-0 food because I was raised there my whole life. Favorite type of food is spaghetti. But you need to try spaghetti with some corn on the side. Funniest person, I'd probably get Kyron Lacey. He be having me joked out every time I talk to him.
Who's the most athletic?
Besides myself, Perk or Malik. Future self, just take one day at a time, one step at a time. If you're doing something, just be where your feet are. Make sure you give 100% effort.
What is something on your bucket list?
Win a Super Bowl. That's definitely on my bucket list.
If you could have one superpower, what would it be?
Time traveling.
Who's the fastest on the team?
Like in a short span, I would say quick trigger, I'm taking Perk. One thing most people don't know about me, probably that I moved 12 times growing up, 12 different states.
Who's the most savage on the team?
Mason Smith. Mason Smith, definitely.
And who gets it done?
Gordon.
Thank you, man. That's great.
Emory Jones, right tackle.
What's the best piece of advice you've ever received?
Got it from my mom, and she just told me, always keep your head on the swivel.
Favorite subject?
Math, easy. I kind of keep it light. Give me some type of red beans or something like that. Throw a little cornbread on the side.
Light with red beans.
Yeah, just a little bit. I am superstitious. I got some PSDs that's purple and yellow and white. I wear them every game. I feel like they my lucky draws, and you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep doing it.
Finishing us! Let's be special! Let's be strong! Let's smell greatness! From the top! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
All right, welcome back here. Jordy Culotta Show, as always, built by our friends over at RMB Builders. Check them out online at rmb-builders.com or on Instagram at RMB Builders as well. All right, we were talking about the offensive line and the challenge that they have tomorrow. Arkansas coming in here, leading the league in sacks. This will be a challenge for LSU as far as the offensive line is concerned. Stu, you ready over here?
Mm-hmm.
All right, here's Brian Kelly yesterday talking about the challenge.
6, right?
Well, I mean, it affects it each week. You're always looking in the SEC as to how you protect your quarterback. And, this defense is no different. They have a new defensive coordinator. They have, 2 of the top 10 pass rushers, in terms of statistics, in the SEC. So, we clearly understand the challenges and maybe, from our perspective, probably haven't seen anything, everything that they can, bring defensively. So we have to prepare for, a number of different things. And again, I would say that it's similar to, playing a team for the first time, where you don't know exactly what you're going to get, so you have to prepare for a lot. And, we'll have the things within our, protection scheme that really focuses in on the key elements of what they like to do defensively.
I wonder how much we'll see of Zalance.
I think when you have
I wonder how much we'll see of Zalance Hurd tomorrow.
I'm interested in that as well.
I mean, it's obvious they want to crack him into the lineup. He had some woes last weekend.
Had some flashes.
Yeah.
He also had some flashes.
Offensive line just looks like it looks more physical with him in the game.
They definitely are.
Like, hey, I'm not a coach.
Right.
I think they asked Charles Turner about it, about shuffling Lance Hurd in and out of the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
And he made it seem it's not that big of a deal with Emory Jones sliding over to right guard because Brad Davis makes them learn every position. But you can see it's still a little disjointed when Emory Jones moves from right tackle to right guard because you're not playing the same position. I know it's easier fundamentally from what your responsibilities are, but it still changes what you do play to play.
Yeah.
And so I could see that being part if you just keep changing. Like he's got to look and be like, all right, Lance Hurd's in, I'm going to guard. Like, let me think about it for a second, what I'm doing on this play as opposed to right tackle. I know what I'm doing every play.
It probably changes the communication, too, like in terms of, like, stunts, stuff like that. Like, and Arkansas likes to stunt, so that might be something that we might have to watch.
Well, and a freshman, too, last week on those stunts is where he looked confused.
Yeah, but it was – sometimes it was more of, like, it looked like him and Emory were confused.
Yeah,
like,
and that's probably the communication aspect
like
of
him not telling Emory, like, look.
40.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
2007.
Great year.
It was. It was a fantastic year. Look at Gundy. He still kind of got a little baby face to him.
Yeah, no mullet.
We good. 11, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Part of it is obviously keeping Harold in the position of Sam linebacker. So when he's playing Sam linebacker, obviously you put yourself in a position where you're not playing quite as much nickel. Whereas if you played him inside, we played nickel virtually the whole game against Florida State. So we've decided that him playing the Sam linebacker position, puts us with, whoever the combination is of the other linebackers. We just feel like that's a better situation for us. Now, there are stresses to that. When you go into a 3 wides, 4 wide situation, we've got 3 linebackers on the field. So we have to be able to adjust and make some adjustments accordingly when teams want to spread us out and do some things, to try to get some matchups with 3 linebackers on the field.
I love the 3 linebacker look. Obviously, after last weekend, it is going to be it'll be interesting how they react when they go against a team that really exposes when you got to get you got to throw an extra DB out there, or what it's going to look like with this group, because what Whit Weeks can do, he can run, and Whit Weeks run the way he runs, he covers up a lot of stuff that could go wrong. I mean, speed covers up a lot of errors, and Whit Weeks has that. So it will be interesting to see how teams start to scheme against this look with Penn, Weeks, Perkins out there, and they try and expose that unit. Analytics versus, you got a thought on that?
Yeah, I was going to say, you saw what happened against, I think the best example is what happened against Tennessee last year.
Yeah.
Where obviously that's an offense that you don't see very often, but it's a variation of a spread where you don't think Lane Kiffin saw that game and was like, okay, I can get some guys.
Spread you out.
Yeah, that's the game I'm more concerned with. I think Arkansas, you're still going to kind of play in a phone booth a little bit and get away with having 3 linebackers out there. And the pressure that they get on the quarterback with that look, you saw Will Rogers have to make some quick decisions because he couldn't get to his reads because of the pressure with the bringing a guy off the edge nearly every play. But if you get an offensive mind like Lane Kiffin that you keep coming out in the same set, I think he's got a page in the playbook for that.
Yeah, I do too. Analytics versus gut feeling as a coach in today's game. Where does it fit in?
I think when you have a quarterback that is dual threat, when you have an offensive line that's emerging and coming together, and you have playmakers on the perimeter, you kind of have an opportunity to have the pen last. Like, do you want to put 9 guys on the line of scrimmage and stop the run? Well, you better have somebody assigned to the quarterback. If you're going to assign somebody to the quarterback, then you're man-to-man on the outside. So if you feel like your team can execute at a high level, then there should be some confidence to go for it on 4th down. And I think that that's how I feel about the players that we have, that we can execute at a high level. And if you decide that you want to take something away, let's say you want to double up receivers and you want to make sure that we don't throw the ball in short yards, then we're going to run the football. So I think that that's probably how I feel. With the other things that I mentioned, analytics, the feel and the flow of the game as well, and where we are in field position.
Brian Kelly yesterday speaking with the media. He wrapped up his media session last night over at TJ Ribs during his radio show, and that was some of the feelings and thoughts from the head coach going into the game on Saturday. It is going to be a raucous atmosphere, one that other programs are using as a recruiting method, including the women's basketball team. The national champs will be hosting the number 2 player in the country this weekend in Joyce Edwards. Edwards is a forward for the class of 2024 from Camden, South Carolina.
Oh.
Nothing would make me smile bigger than if Kim Mulkey and the crew, if Reedus and everybody over with LSU basketball, Joe Schwartz and all of them, can pull a player, a 5-star, out of South Carolina, right under the nose of Dawn Staley and the Carolina program. That would be just as sweet as it gets to watch a fan base melt that is so insecure. I've never seen a fan base that is more insecure than the South Carolina women's basketball fan base that has championships yet has rabbit ears and hears everything that people say about them and wants to respond to it. They're great for social media and the numbers. But if LSU can pull Joyce out of South Carolina, Joyce Edwards out of South Carolina this weekend, I'm telling you, South Carolina women's basketball fans, I am going to be relentless on you until she gets on campus. Because all we've heard about is Dawn Staley, how great a recruiter she is. All I've seen and heard about Dawn Staley in recruiting is Kim Mulkey run up on her and take everybody she wanted. Didn't she want Angel Reese?
Yep.
Didn't she want Anissa Morrow?
Yep.
Didn't she want Haley Van Lith? Doesn't she want Joyce Edwards?
Sure, she wanted Michaela Williams, too.
I know Mulkey is 3 for 3 going head up against Staley in players that she wanted. I could even go to Angel Del Rosario, who she was dirty recruiting with, talking about all the Brittany Griner stuff to Del Rosario when Kim Mulkey went on the visit. She told Del Rosario, go get your mom. Bring her into the living room. Because Dawn Staley allegedly had prospects telling them and their parents, ask Kim Mulkey what she thinks about Brittany Griner. And finally it got to a point where they were like, get your parents, bring them in here. Let me tell you the real thing in the story about this. And that is what Coach Mulkey has done and has handled this. She hasn't said anything publicly. Well, she doesn't. She doesn't have to. She's handling it privately. And she's making sure that everybody who knows, who cares about this, knows how she feels about it. And the players, the parents, the coaches, everybody around them are all signing off on this. The only one that's not is Dawn Staley, because she's got to create this controversy because she's getting her ass kicked. Really, by Mulkey. Last year she got him on the floor, but they know up in South Carolina, Dawn Staley knows in South Carolina, those days are done. The matchup now it's even. It's actually a little slighted towards LSU because LSU's gotten all the players that they wanted. But if they can pull Joyce Edwards out of Camden, South Carolina, get ready. Get ready. To the most insecure fan base that exists, one that has championships yet listens to everybody. Hey, you're winning. You're on top of the mountain. You just made another Final Four. Why so insecure?
It used to be easy.
Why listen and rant about somebody 3,000 miles away from you caring about what your coach wears on the sideline? I mean, I'm just pointing out how big of a fool she looks like when she's wearing other people's jerseys representing a school. It's just our opinion. But once you open it up, South Carolina's fan base is the only one that thinks that's cool. Everybody else is like, yeah, it is kind of dumb that she's wearing these jerseys on the sideline. And that's all we pointed out. And then she made it to Dawn Staley's show, and the next thing you know, the best team that exists in the sports bounced out of the Final Four. Anissa Morrow, LSU. Haley Van Lith, LSU. Michaela Williams, LSU. Joyce Edwards. Come on, Joyce. Come on down. That's why I'm telling you, tomorrow it's going to be rocking on campus. She's going to see Tiger Stadium on springs. Hopefully she has an experience that she goes back to South Carolina and knows that cannot be recreated anywhere. Sandstorm got nothing on that, Joyce. What are you going to see tomorrow night? Hopefully they can close it. It would be incredible if they were able to take Joyce Edwards directly under the nose of the reeling Dawn Staley and the South Carolina women's basketball program and fan base.
Because what you see for football, that isn't just for football now. That's how it was for baseball. That's how it was for women's basketball. That's how it is on campus at LSU. The athletics are celebrated if you're good, which the women's basketball team is. That place is going to be sold out.
Oh,
and
no, it is sold out. I mean, like, there is no more tickets available. I mean, as far as like the season tickets, the walk up to the window, buy the LSU women's basketball ticket, you're going to be lucky if you can get it.
Right.
I mean, and not only that, it's going to be like that on the road. Like, they're going to be a traveling circus. In fact, I was on a panel yesterday with the sales and marketing executives group here in town. They did a NIL panel, yesterday, which was loaded with information. Brian Oliver, who's the CEO of Matchpoint, was on it. Taylor Jacobs, who's the head of NIL on LSU's campus, was a part of it. Alex Ludwig, who oversees marketing and specifically the NIL marketing for Gordon McKernan, was on the panel. And Jennifer Roberts, who is on LSU women's basketball staff and oversees NIL opportunities for the team, rounded out the panel. I was the MC. It was awesome to be in that room. I mean, there was, business owners, business people, marketers, sales marketing executives do a great job here in town. SME, if you need more information, get in touch with Monica Rogers and the crew over there. But it was a great room. But Jennifer Roberts said yesterday, last year, LSU women's basketball traveled with 1 security guard. This year, they're traveling with 3. I guarantee you by the time they get to conference play, it'll be 5. They'll have 1 for Angel Reese. They'll have 1 for Flaugier. They'll have 1 for Haley Van Lith. They'll have 1 for Kim Mulkey. And then they're going to have 1 for the team. They are going to be the Chicago Bulls when they travel, I'm telling you, of women's college basketball. I'm not saying that amount of popularity, but within the women's college basketball community, they will be that popular. They will sell out on the road. They already have thrones, like gobs of people waiting for them when they pull up to hotels on the road. Roberts was telling the story yesterday. When they pull up on the road, I mean, there are people there waiting to get autographs from Angel Reese and Flaugier. The same thing is going to happen, except it's going to be a little bit more. And then when you see Haley Van Lith's personality, when you see the personality of the team added into the target that they're going to have on their back just naturally, just by the ball rolling out there, LSU women's basketball is going to have this attention on them that everybody is going to be eager to find out, because if you just look at their social media following, I mean, collectively between Van Lith, Angel Reese, and Flaugier, they've got over 10 million followers on social media. That's just 3 players. We haven't even talked about Kim Mulkey or Michaela Williams yet. I mean, the amount of attention that is going to come to this team is going to be a ton. And I believe early on, by the sense that I get, they invite it. Now, you got to go out there and play. And, people are going to be waiting on this team to fail. There is going to be a section of, America that is just crossing their fingers and hoping that they lose and fail. That's going to be a part of it because they're just going to be so popular. And really, I expect them to just be so dominant. I mean, I have peeked my head into the practice facility a couple of times here in this offseason. I know they get going officially on Monday. But, man, they're a hell of a matchup. I mean, they are going to be tough to match up with. I'm telling you, Anissa Morrow could plant her feet 16 feet away from the rim and knock down jump shots from sun up to sundown. She is the best jump shooter on campus. She could be one of the best jump shooters in the country. She has just got a mid-range game that is a lost art in basketball. Really. I mean, I'm trying to think of some of the great mid-range shooters, great mid-range players in today's game. And, I mean, it is few and far between. And she is a legitimate mid-range jump shooter that will pull you away from the rim. And I just don't know how you guard that with low post players when you got to worry about the best rebounder in women's basketball with Angel Reese. I mean, if she's just under there by herself, essentially, if Anissa Morrow does miss, she's just gobbling it up and putting it right back in. I mean, it's not to mention the guard play that they're going to feature. I mean, Van Lith, Michaela Williams, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so much fun being an LSU women's basketball fan for the next 5 to 10 years. And this team is going to really kind of kick. I mean, last year, I think you'll look at this kind of when you have the collective body of work to look at from Mulkey, let's say when we're 10 years removed from it. You know, the championship last year, you'll probably just call insurance. You know what I mean? Like, it was just kind of like, holy hell, they got one like very unexpectedly, right? I mean, like, all we heard about was South Carolina was a generational team last year, that they had this talent. Would they have like 3 drafted in the top 15?
Yeah, it was building up to this, that whole recruiting class.
And, you know, South Carolina,
gets
God bless them, they didn't even make the national championship game. And now LSU's coming in with a target, yet a group that is there. I don't know a lot about the depth of women's college basketball. I cannot imagine that there is a team with the depth and the playmakers at the spots that LSU does. I think that Michaela Williams is going to lead this team in scoring. I mean, you're talking about somebody. I mean, like, she was a senior in high school last year.
Well, that's what makes this team so impressive, is how deep they are, like, and the way that they're built. Like, you have somebody at every level that can do something for you to where it's hard. It's almost impossible to guard. They're playing positionless basketball with positions, though. It's like almost Kim Mulkey is very big on like old school basketball, it feels like, because she played the point guard position. So she has somebody down low, she has somebody at the mid range, she has somebody that runs the point. That doesn't mean that they're going to shoot threes, but she has somebody at each level that you have to guard. Because I know that Haley Van Lith can shoot threes, but I also know she can dribble, drive, penetrate, and kick. I know that Michaela Williams can score. She's a walking bucket, and she can shoot it. And then you have Angel Reese down there to clean everything up. And then you have the ancillary pieces around you that are players. This team reminds me a little bit of when you talk about going on the road. I don't think they're going to be welcomed on the road. I think it's going to be...
Oh, they're going to be hated.
It's going to be Miami 2010 when they added the big three.
Which is awesome.
Yeah, it's going to be a show. The difference is I think this team welcomes it. LeBron James was surprised by it.
Right.
And so he had to shift his mentality. This team is ready for all the smoke that's going to come its way because they've been conditioned that way. They know what they're putting together. They know that they're going to be dubbed a super team and that they cheated and all this. They're going to hear all of it. They've already heard it all. And for every blow you throw at Dawn Staley, they're going to say the same thing about Kim Mulkey and her outfits and what she wears. Like, if it's yours, you love it. If it's not yours, you hate it.
No doubt.
And so that's how a rivalry happens. And I don't know when you see South Carolina on the schedule. I think they miss them in the regular season. Yeah, and then they got them, and they missed them in the SEC tournament too.
No, they got them in the regular season. No, they went up there on Super Bowl Sunday, and that's when
she wore the Randall Cunningham jersey.
Alexis Morris went off, kept them in the game, and then they
were down big, huh?
Yeah, and then they played them again in the SEC tournament. And then they didn't match up against them in the NCAAs.
Right. Yeah, it was set to be LSU, South Carolina, then Iowa.
Right.
Spoiled the fun.
But, man, I hope they get Joyce Edwards out of South Carolina. She'll be in town this weekend.
With the class of, this is going to be the who's who of recruiting for football, baseball, and now women's basketball. They know that campus is going to be on full tilt. This is a great game to bring a high school kid to be able to see and go, okay, I've heard about LSU. Now I've seen it and felt it and experienced it. And that, don't get it twisted, that culture, that being there and seeing it wins people over. That has a massive impact. It's not just coaching, it's where am I going to play.
All right, we will have more of the Jordy Culotta show as we roll on here. RMB Builders building us every single day. Come back with us. Like, share, comment. We're back. We're going to give you our prediction of LSU Arkansas, and then we got Mintz's six-pack rolling in here at 8:30 this morning. If you're in the market for a mortgage lender, you need to start with Doug Bickley and his team. Bickley has built a crew with over 50 years of combined lending experience. They've been in business for over 20 years, and they love helping their clients achieve the American dream of home ownership. They're also key with working in real estate agents and helping their clients getting same-day pre-approval. They average about one buyer a day getting them in a home. If you want to get in touch with Doug and his crew, it's easy. Call them 225-214-5154. 225-214-5154. Go see the Bickley team today. They're located on the corner of Coursey Boulevard and Sherwood Forest right here in Baton Rouge.
What's up?
What's happening?
Chilling with a couple of cool guys. You?
Chilling and watching some tube. Hold on.
Did you do it?
Hold on. Did you do it?
Roof's up.
Hold on.
Roof's up?
Roof's up!
Roof's up!
Hold on. Hold on. Hold on.
Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
Are you looking for sound financial advice? Then get in touch with Daniel Newman of Edward Jones. You can call him today at 225-261-8262 or email him daniel.newman@edwardjones.com. If you're planning for retirement, saving for college for children or grandchildren, or just looking for sound investment opportunities, get in touch with Daniel today, 225-261-8262, located on Magnolia Square Drive in Central. Daniel Newman of Edward Jones.
You can't put the cart before the horse. That'd be like, will you marry me?
Do I know you?
Never sign a contract with a roofer before he gets on your roof. Call Go Roof instead. We offer a free, no-obligation inspection. A beautiful roof every shingle time. Bobby, goes in the front.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Belmont Stakes Race Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Kentucky Derby Training. I'm sticking to roofing.
Roof, roof, Go Roof.
Offensive player of the game from LSU, Joe Burrow.
Football is life. Football is Joe Burrow.
You have found the Jordy Culotta Show.
Who knew I would make it this far? They hated, they never believed me. Yeah, I would never drop the ball. I know I make it look easy. Yeah, Mayweather with the defense. I don't care what a critic got to say. I got them picking up the pieces. That to me, you really playing with your life. I'm about to come and run it all back. I'm the new era, about to snap back. You ain't fitting for it, cause you all cap like. Hold up, I shoot my shot. Wait, hold up.
But the hope is Jordy.
When it go up, moving fast, already gone. Yeah, but you bringing me back. Try to double cross me, dog. Just let me relax. Stop assuming what we doing.
The Jordy Culotta Show, brought to you by Click Here Digital.
Red Stick Sports, a local staple in Baton Rouge to all sports fans, was founded back in 1981 and has remained a family business for over 40 years. Today, they still have the great selection on the floor, but they're also a leader in custom apparel for businesses, sports teams, and other groups. Take it from us, everybody over here at FM Digital Media. They help us out with all of our apparel. Let them help you out today. Go ask for Cody over at Red Stick Sports. Check him out online at redsticksports.biz.
The Jordy Culotta Show is brought to you by A-Bears Lawn Maintenance. Commercial or residential, A-Bears Lawn Maintenance is ready to work. A-Bears can tackle all your homeowners association requirements. Call Blake at 225-485-8022. A-Bears Lawn Maintenance.
In a wreck, Gordon McKernan Injury Attorneys is ready to go to work for you. Come meet your team.
I'm your intake specialist. I coordinate your case and connect you with your attorney and paralegal.
That's us, your legal team.
Here you go.
Thanks.
and we'll fight to get you every dollar you deserve.
I'm your settlements and disbursement manager, and I'm here to get you paid on time.
I'm attorney Gordon McKernan. Put our team to work today. Just call us. Get it done.
Hey Tiger fans, when you're traveling through Natchez, Mississippi, make sure to visit Tom and Wright Granning at Go Mart and On The Go Deli, where you can fill up your tank and your belly. Go Mart has clean restrooms, community coffee, an awesome beer cave, and a great selection of anything you may need on your trip. Located at 4 Sergeant Prentice Drive as you're entering Natchez on the left. Also stop by Wardo's Po' Boys at 309 North Broadway on the beautiful Natchez Bluff, where the Po' Boys are so good you'll swear you're in Cajun country.
At Auctioner, we know healing is a team sport. That's why we've partnered with world-renowned orthopedic surgeon Dr. James Andrews to create the Auctioner Andrews Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute. Whether you're a professional athlete or a weekend warrior, our team of specialists are dedicated to getting you back in the game. So whatever your reasons are for reaching your personal best, we've only got one. You. Auctioner Andrews Institute. Long live you.
All right, buddy. Make it a good shot. Oh, yeah. Sticking the roof in.
For a hole in your roof, for a whole new roof, go roof. Roof, roof, go roof.
Hey, Greg, the roof up?
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up.
Roof's up. Beautiful roof every single time.
True. True.
Phil's Oyster Bar, a staple of South Louisiana since 1945, located in Southdown Shopping Center and online at philsoysterbar.com. If you log online, you can learn about the private party schedule, the catering menu, and even order online. Daily lunch specials Monday through Friday. Learn about the history when Gus Piazza took it over in the early 70s, made it an absolute stop-in for everyone who came through Baton Rouge, and now Anthony, his son, carrying on the tradition. Phil's Oyster Bar, Southdown Shopping Center, and online, philsoysterbar.com.
Let's be special. Let's be strong. Let's smell greatness from the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
All right, there it is. Take a look at the goat. This morning on her morning walk, ran into my nephew. That is little Bobby Swinson right there. Look at that kid, bro. Just about a year old. Turns a year on Halloween.
Kind of tall.
I'm telling you, bro. His dad's like 6'4". Yeah. Could be a DB.
You need to get out that stroller and get to walking. Jesus, put them legs to work.
But saw Mulkey on the walk this morning. A young Bobby Swinson there meeting the goat. Beautiful pick. Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.
I'm telling you.
Great morning.
What'd you say the weather looked like tomorrow, Lloyd?
It was a low of 71 with a high of 90.
Cool.
I mean, that is...
Welcome to it. Chef's kiss.
There's nothing you can do wrong in that weather.
Any chance of precipitation?
Chance of rain?
Never.
I mean, Tiger Stadium is going to be on tilt tomorrow.
Drink all day.
Joyce Edwards, we're coming after you.
Can't do nothing wrong in that weather.
Joyce Edwards. Are you going, Stewie? We flipped you?
You drink all day at the house?
Get a bike,
you don't have an excuse.
Get a bike.
I could drink all day at the house.
Telling you.
It's not the same.
It is.
A parking spot out of the way with a bike in the back to get you close, and then it also
See, I don't have a bike.
It's a shady enough vehicle where you can slip out of there too.
See,
I do have the little
I'll
Honda.
pick you up, but you would be stuck after that because we go into the game.
Yeah. Damn.
You don't have a lot of excuses.
I do. I could get out of this either way I want.
Yeah, you don't have to go.
Which is a great way. I mean, it's a great place to be.
It is a great place to be tomorrow, but this is about.
Here's my dilemma tomorrow: is that I want to watch the games.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm trying to be at home watching.
I'm also trying to scout a couple of offensive linemen to get them into for Jay next year tomorrow out at the Breckfields.
Smart man.
So we are. I mean, it's a busy day. Starts early. Out at the Breck Fields, and then the 11 a.m. kickoffs I'm captivated by. I can't wait to see Clemson, Florida State, 11 a.m. Sneaky Texas A&M, Auburn, going to be getting me at 11 a.m. I'm looking forward to that one. 2:30, I can't make the move to get out of Tiger Stadium, so I mean, yet because I want to watch Alabama and Ole Miss, at least the first half.
Every tailgate has a television.
I know.
You're right. You're right.
I know.
Now, this is where you would need they do a good job of whipping around, but there's still no legitimate red zone. You have to watch every game. If you pick ESPN, you could do the multicast, but it's just not the same.
Mm-hmm. No,
they don't have somebody kind of
commentating,
bi-directionally giving you
updates.
It's just whatever sound you're getting is the sound.
Yeah.
And so you turn but I love I kind of need the commentary to pay attention.
I agree. Me too.
Same.
If they put on music out there, then I'm vibing.
Yeah, now I'm partying.
Now,
Right.
now
I'm looking at the TV, but I'm not
This is a
registering.
party, but
Yeah.
it's just football on, but it's a party.
That's right. I'm at a party with football.
Yeah, it's a great side dish.
Right.
Depends.
Or it
But
could be the entree.
the dilemma is I want to be
serving up
out
entrees
there. I want to
tomorrow.
be there.
Same.
I want to be there tomorrow.
You can't beat it.
I might burn me one and walk out there.
Taking the sights and the sounds.
That's usually the move for me. Like
That
when I
is.
lived on Nicholson, I just burn me one and walk
Yeah.
to tailgate.
Unbothered.
That's great vibes. Like
Great vibes.
catch me a little drink on the way. S&P. Might stop at Fred's, get a band. Never know.
Never know.
And a steak.
Yeah.
Steak.
Steak.
Watch the
Steak?
football there.
Yeah, I could. See what Ron's doing. I think Ron has to work Southeastern tomorrow.
Ron is in the pit.
Ron's covering UL.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Southeastern game. Shout out Southeastern.
Shout out to Southeastern. Hammond
Go
America.
pull cable at the Rose Stadium.
Plug it into your phone.
Ron's like, I can't go with Jock. I got to tag along with JD.
Ron's wondering why I can't go to the Saints game when year one as an intern.
Jeez.
LSU and the Saints. I mean, I get it,
so
Ron.
bad
I've
for
been
him.
there.
Me too.
I feel so bad for
Me
him.
too.
Especially-
there is no bigger defeat in the world until you realize like that corporate America just hates people.
Doesn't even care.
Like, and when you get in at the lower level and you're eager to work and you're showing up still on time with a smile, like what time do I go to LSU? Like,
welcome to Hammond
you're
America.
going to
son.
Nichols, cuz.
And you're driving.
Yeah, right. Your own car.
At 6 a.m., we need you there.
Yeah.
You might as well leave today.
Yeah.
And then Ron's got to look at Snapchat and see LSU just
man,
thumping.
I feel so bad for him.
I had to do it.
Because
had
I was
to do
like,
it.
I was like, Ron, like I asked him early in the week. I asked him probably Monday. I was like, so we going to the game this weekend, right? And he was like, I don't know, bro.
What game?
He's like, I don't know.
You want to come to Southeast?
I don't know where they're gonna have me at. Then, like Wednesday, he was like, bro, they got me going to Southeastern. Like his voice when he said it was just like, they got
What
me
time's
going to
the kickoff?
Southeastern. I don't even know. Let's see.
They usually don't go up against LSU.
They don't.
No.
But
It might-
sometimes.
sometimes they
Sometimes
do.
No, it's not. You say it's at 6 o'clock?
Let's see.
Oh.
Northwestern
Jeez.
would do that because they didn't think that people cared in the region about LSU. It's like everybody in the state cares about LSU.
Oh, 6 p.m.
Dude, they really think, bro, they really
Oh.
think that they really think that they can do that. They're like, this Southeastern, like these contingencies are like, well, it's Southeastern. Like the people here want to watch that. Like, no, they don't. Like you got people that aren't coming to the game because LSU's playing. They're good. Southeastern can be as good as they want to be.
If I was in South Louisiana as one of those schools, I would play all of my home games on a Thursday night.
Yeah, or like at 11 a.m. on
Saturday
Saturday.
at
I
11.
play it Thursday night. Like don't even tempt them.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
Come watch us play.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like because tomorrow you're gonna lose people for a 6 o'clock kickoff, even if you played at 11.
They're already gone. You're right.
They're already- they're already in
gone.
Baton Rouge,
You know what I
like
mean? Like
this.
for a big game when it's sun shining like that, you know, watch the wishbone.
Then it's Southeastern is 0-3 and they play Houston Christian who's 1-2.
Gross.
Ugh.
Get some footage.
Get some
Right.
footage.
Yeah,
This is
I
gonna
mean, I
be a
got
4-hour game, Ron. Get ready.
I know the feeling, man. I've been on the sidelines with my phone in my hand watching LSU Auburn.
A lot of penalties.
Just going. What am I doing?
What
You got
am
to,
I
but
here?
you got to pay the piper.
Yeah.
What's your best memory of an Arkansas game? Let me
Me?
know when we got Mintz.
Ooh.
Let me know when we got Mintz. Mintz is he
Go
should
ahead.
be
You go
jumping in
first.
here 8:30.
You got it. You got the floor.
Oh, I'm gonna take them all, but you go ahead because you seem excited.
My favorite memory of Arkansas was my first time going to LSU Arkansas. It was Zach Mettenberger tearing his ACL.
Damn.
Yeah, Jarvis
Trayvon
Landry.
Durrell.
Yeah, Trayvon Durrell, Jarvis Landry gets the catch under the man.
That's right.
I don't know how he caught that.
Yeah, that might be.
That's it right there. That's the catch right there.
Which one?
No, it's not
No,
that
that's
one.
not him. That one is
No,
that's Washington 2012 right here behind Lloyd. But that catch
Because
is probably,
Arkansas, he dove over
Yeah.
him and went. And then you're thinking about the Arkansas game away where he went one-handed back of the end zone. Where you're
hands
like,
of Velcro.
Oh, my God. He didn't even need
That was maybe the most boring game I've ever watched.
Oh my goodness.
until that happened.
Until that happened.
I mean, but yeah, that's probably my favorite memory of Arkansas. Arkansas is giving LSU hell because Les Miles wants to run toss down.
My favorite memory of Arkansas, my favorite game in this series, is the 2006 game that featured McFadden, Felix
A loss.
Jones, Trendon Holiday. No, they won. This is in Arkansas. You're thinking
In
of
2007,
You're
yeah.
thinking of 07.
They did it to him twice.
In 06, they go. This might have been when the series was still rotating between Little Rock, Fayetteville, and Baton Rouge. This one might have been in Little Rock, if I remember correctly. And Darren McFadden was probably, this is like Jamarcus, Debo, Craig Davis. On the opening drive of the game, a strong safety from Arkansas literally bounces off of Dwayne Bowe, and it looks as if it's a mosquito on a windshield. I mean, like, this guy is running at Dwayne Bowe full speed. Debo catches one of those wide receiver tunnel screens that Jimbo used to always call, and he caught it running downhill. Like, he caught it running full speed. Jamarcus puts it right on him, and Dwayne Bowe is running across. Lloyd, if you can find this, I would love to pull this up, because he destroys this defensive back in the middle of the field. The same game, I mean, this is it's a back and forth, like Tyson Holyfield. Like, I mean, it is a war. And McFadden takes one like 60. Like, they just hand it to him straight up the middle, and like LaRon Landry and Jesse Daniels are running after him, and they just can't catch him. And McFadden goes, and for a split second, Arkansas takes the lead. And then my favorite moment of an LSU-Arkansas series is the ensuing kickoff of that play, where the stadium at Arkansas is buzzing. Like, they are the place is going nuts. They think they're about to get LSU, and they kick off to Trendon Holiday.
It's over.
And Holiday makes one guy miss and gets to the sideline, and that's when he was dragging his feet
toes
on the AstroTurf, on the turf, and he was kicking. That was the first time I'd ever seen like the black pellets on turf. I was like, what is that? What I mean, like, I always thought it was like the Superdome carpet, you know, like with cement underneath it. And it was one of the finest moments in LSU football history over the last 25 years, where a team thought they had LSU on the ropes, and LSU might have been. But the response and the haymaker that Holiday threw on the road in an environment that was looking to choke you out was still, like, I got goosebumps thinking about it right now. I was at my buddy's place, Jesse McCormick, me, him, and a couple of friends, and we were, I mean, jumping, pushing. I can still remember it. I mean, it was one of those moments where it was like, they're not beating them today. And I still remember the call. I forget, it was maybe a CBS. It might have been Vernon.
It was CBS. What quarter was it?
Which part?
The Trendon Holiday.
I think it was like third quarter. But I remember the announcer saying when Holiday made the guy miss, like,
oh, he's gone.
Forget it.
Forget about him.
You are not going to catch him.
It was in the fourth quarter.
It might have been like the first play of the fourth quarter. I mean, it was like, dude, it was such a back and forth game.
Right.
Where it was so good. Darren McFadden was so good that day.
I mean, he was an LSU killer.
He was an LSU killer. He was. Because, I mean, you could argue the best game he played in college was 07.
Absolutely.
Yeah. LSU game.
I have a friend that was there for that.
I was there.
I went to high school with a kid that was there for that, and he said he sat in the stadium for like 2 hours after.
He
like,
said,
they made him leave.
Mintz is there.
I don't see Mintz.
Did you send him the link?
Yeah.
Ben Mintz.
Ben Mintz.
Did you send it to the Yahoo?
Mm-hmm. Mintz has a lot going on. The operation is timed out. I don't know what that means. Mintz.
But I would have to give mine to, because you get everything in the 2009 LSU Arkansas game. You get the Pro Combat uniforms, the Chad Jones hit over the middle in the end zone, and you get a Trenton Holiday punt return touchdown. It was just
the Brad Nessler call. He's at the 30-yard line.
He's at the other 30-yard line.
And he's like,
he's not going to catch him.
That might have been the one where he says that, because I know that Arkansas. I mean, Holiday had
you talk about as good as Darren McFadden was. Trenton Holiday showed up every time against Arkansas for some reason, but the way that he was, I mean, it was just big play after big play, and the hit that Chad Jones laid on, forget his first name, something Adams.
Yeah, he killed that guy.
He killed that guy.
He killed that guy.
He said, and we had Chad on.
I saw Chad yesterday.
He's like, I mean, I hate to say it, but I got the worst of that. I knocked myself out.
Like, he crushed that guy.
Yeah, he's like, I hit him so hard, I knocked myself out.
Does Chad Jones' son play at Southern Lab, or does he go to U-High?
U-High.
U-High.
Okay.
He's at the U.
Okay. All right.
He's a little offensive lineman, but we
look. He'll grow into his body. We
know
who his daddy is.
Special.
Oh, Mintzy.
Bro, wait till you see Hester's kid.
Oh, jeez.
Huge.
He is enormous.
He's all arms and hands.
I mean, like, he is.
How old is he?
He's an 8th grader.
Oh, jeez.
And I'm telling, like, he is. I don't want to. I'm not good at this, but he is all of 6'2", 240, 230. Right?
Yeah,
and, like, he stands
I don't know if he's that big.
Dude, he's
probably 6 feet tall, like 180 pounds.
No.
In 8th grade?
You hadn't seen him in a minute.
I see him on the phone.
No,
but to be 6'2", 240 and
wrecking,
12 years old.
He is wrecking. No, he's not 12. He's like 13 or 14
At
in 8th
U-High?
grade. Yeah.
He's 13.
I'm bad at that. But he is huge.
Biggest player on the field.
Just standing next to Hester, you're like, how?
Yeah.
How?
Hey, look. Sometimes.
Speaking of how, Ben Mintz, last week cleaning up 3-0 in college games. I don't know what he did on Sunday.
Sunday.
He can tell us.
Sunday didn't go
2
too
and
well
1?
for Mintzy. Yeah.
All right, Mintzy, how we feeling this morning? I know you got a hard out of here at 9 o'clock.
I'm feeling great. I had an awesome week. I ran up to Chicago on Monday. We did a big Monday Night Football stream with Megan and for Saints and Panthers and Browns and Steelers. I found a place to live on Tuesday, so that's kind of exciting. It's kind of getting real in Chicago, and then Wednesday, kind of a big highlight for me. Honestly, I was a little nervous. Big Cat said, "Hey, I want you to come on Pick'em," and I don't know if y'all follow Barstool Pick'em, but it's basically Dave and Big Cat killing Rico every week.
Right.
So I thought I might be like walking into something to get messed with. Yet it was the exact opposite. It was Dave, Big Cat, and Rico. My appearance on Pick'em went great. And, so a lot of good momentum. Excited for Ole Miss Bama. We got 6 ranked games. I'll be in BR tomorrow, too. So
Let's
go, Mintzy.
Tailgating. I think I'm going to the old road tailgate maybe. Be popping around the tailgate scene, and then I'm going to the game. So I'm going to watch the Ole Miss Bama game at a tailgate.
Mintzy, I had you in Tuscaloosa for sure this weekend.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm doing
Sorry,
Oxford
man.
next weekend.
I get it. It's a tough subject. I know. All right, who do we like? Who do we like going into the weekend?
All right, 6-pack. We'll hit it. We got one Friday night game. We hit that Friday night last week with Maryland hard in that second half. I like Purdue +6 against Wisconsin. Look, I'm going against this Wisconsin bunch a ton this year. So, look, what I'm seeing out of Wisconsin, I think Luke Fickell is a great coach. I mean, obviously, we all saw he did at Cincinnati. I just think their transition from a power offense to the air raid, like, I know you use the transfer portal now, but, like, that's not a one-year switch. And they hadn't looked good on offense in any of their 3 games against Buffalo, Washington State, or last week against Georgia Southern. They won because of all the turnovers. So, give me Purdue as a +6 home dog. Saturday, can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm taking Rutgers +24 at Michigan. Look, the over-under on this game's like high 30s, low 40s. 24 is a huge line in a game that's not going to be a lot of points. So I just thought the line was too high considering the over-under's low. So 24 is going to feel like a bigger number when there aren't going to be that many points on the board. And finally, hey, I'm drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm banging the Rebels +7 at Alabama on Saturday.
I
will say, though, a little, everybody putting Bama in their grave has me a little hesitant, but I do think Bama's offense is in real trouble right now. And Pete Golding, Ole Miss has Bama's former defensive coordinator from the last 4 years. I think that's going to help. And Ole Miss is also getting some guys back. Starting tight end, the Memphis transfer, Prisborn's coming back, and then the debut of Zachary Franklin, who who was the number 5 player in the transfer portal, had 1,400 yards for UT San Antonio last year. Trey Harris might or might not play, but getting the top receiver and tight end back. And I think Jackson Dart can use his legs to keep the Rebels in the game. So I got that. So college is Purdue, Rutgers, Ole Miss. Sunday, going over 46.5 in Atlanta, Detroit. Until these Detroit home games start going under, I'm just going to take the over on all of them. They're all nuts.
Mm-hmm.
The games just get so wild there. I'm taking the Washington Commanders, 6.5-point home dog against Buffalo. There's a new energy around this Commanders bunch because Dan Snyder's out as owner. They're selling out games. Their fans are packed. Their offense looks like it really impressed me last week. The way they came back from the 21-3 deficit at Denver. Sam Howell looked like he's playing good. And the thing with Buffalo, I feel like Buffalo's turned into like the great home-road split team. Like at home, they just kill people, and then they just look like crap on the road. So give me the plus 6.5. And then finally, another trend. The Saints have allowed under 20 or less 10 straight games. Green Bay's got a left guard and Bakhtari out at left tackle. I'm taking under 42.5 Sunday in Green Bay. Obviously, we all see the Saints have some O-line problems, but the defense is elite. So, I think 42.5 is too high. So, to recap it, Purdue plus 6, Rutgers plus 24, Ole Miss plus 7, over 46.5, Atlanta, Detroit, Washington Commanders plus 6.5 and under 42.5, New Orleans, Green Bay. Boom.
Mintzy, I'm going to get you out of here because I know you got a road trip real quick, but one before I let you go. Lane Kiffin this week.
I got a few minutes. I got about 5 minutes.
He's been different in the way that he's kind of presented this thing. He's notoriously talked trash in this game going into it. He's not hidden from the spotlight, hidden from the moment, but he's been needling a little bit differently this week with the Tide in Alabama. What have you made of Kiffin in the way that he's handled the lead up to this big game?
I thought the stuff with the defensive coordinator was funny, talking about it was Travaris Robinson's defense, not Kevin Steele's. I was like, that was a little interesting. But, he's basically been super complimentary of Saban. And, I kind of feel like we all learned lessons 2 years ago when Lane said, get your popcorn ready on TV, and then Bama just crushed Ole Miss. And I was running my mouth on Twitter a lot that week, too, 2 years ago. I'm, a little calmer this week. I'm, quietly optimistic. I think Lane feels good about it too, though. Look, this Bama offense is a mess. There's just like Saban's lost so many coordinators. Jordy, I never thought we'd get to a day where we could see this. I think Ole Miss's top 3 quarterbacks are better than all. I think Walker Howard's Ole Miss third string. I think he'd start at Alabama right now. And that's a testament to Lane, but that's so crazy that Ole Miss has 3 quarterbacks better than Bama. And LSU obviously has a similar situation with Nussmeier and Daniels. And that's just so wild to me. Reese coming from Notre Dame, not used to coaching Milroe, running quarterback. I feel like that's like a square peg round hole thing. The big thing, Bama's offensive line hadn't looked that good against Texas or South Florida. Can Ole Miss's run defense hold up? And if Ole Miss's run defense plays well, I think they got a really good chance in this game.
What's the biggest game outside of Oxford this weekend for you? This is a huge slate of college football this weekend. Which one really
Ohio
gets
State,
you?
Notre Dame's a monster. I think by the way, you know what? If I was going to add a 7th game, it's Notre Dame plus 3. I believe in Sam Hartman a lot. Anybody that averages over 40 points a game at Wake Forest back-to-back years, seems like a pretty damn good accomplishment, no?
Yeah.
Made it relevant.
I think he's really good. I think the Kyle McCord grade's unproven, and so I like Notre Dame plus 3. I think that's a huge one. And then the Florida State-Clemson game. You can't forget about that because Florida State – 2-point favorite. They're trying to go on the road and show this is their conference now. I know they had a bad second half last week, and then we're not even. And I feel like Florida State should win. I think Dabo seems like the NIL era is not good for Dabo. Yeah. He's not adjusting with transfers and all that stuff. He's kind of living in a time 5-7 years ago, and so I don't think they're as good as they used to be. I think it's pretty obvious. The Colorado-Oregon super interesting too. I hate Travis Hunter's out. I'm hoping Colorado can keep it within 21, but I just Oregon's going to score so many points. It's going to be tough.
From Barstool Sports, Ben Mintz at Stool Mintzy is where you find him on social media. He'll be in Baton Rouge tomorrow. If you see him, holler at him. Good to see you today, brother.
Yeah, I'm going to definitely be watching the Ole Miss Bama game at tailgates, getting rowdy. And look, I'm looking forward to being in Death Valley tomorrow night, man. I think it's going to be fun. LSU, at first I thought the line was too big when I saw 18. That was my initial reaction. And then as I thought about it more and more during the week, I was like, man, Arkansas losing Barry Odom, who was an elite defensive coordinator, They look crappy on defense on 38 to BYU last week. I mean, I know KJ Jefferson's good and they have a good running game, but I don't know if they're going to be able to keep up.
Mintzy, we'll be tracking. We're looking forward to next week. Good to talk to you.
Always. Thank you for having me.
There he is. Mintz from Barstool checking in. Huge games this weekend. Remember that conversation, and our show is brought to you by Katie's down in New Orleans. Katie's Restaurant down in New Orleans in Mid-City. You can find them located down there on Iberville Street, right in the heart of Mid-City. Online at katiesinmidcity.com. Some of your favorites in New Orleans on the menu since 1984. They also got St. Louis-style pizza. Great service with a smile, cold beer. Go in there, watch. Remember, we tell you about the new Sunday hours. Saints in Green Bay this weekend, so if you're looking for a spot to post up, watch the Saints and the Packers, get over to Katie's on Iberville Street, 10 a.m. until 6 p.m. Not only can you watch the game on the newly installed 6 televisions, but the new hours, 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. You can catch pregame and postgame over there with Katie's. katiesinmidcity.com. katiesinmidcity.com is where you find them online, and a great supporter of our show. And as always, shout out to Scott Craig and the crew. All right, these games, these big games, who are we picking here before we get out of here? I'll start with LSU and Arkansas. LSU and Arkansas, obviously, this is a bigger number than I thought it was going to be, quite honestly, when you look at it, with LSU giving 17 points to Arkansas in this one. A lot of respect for the Tigers come Saturday. I like them, kind of. I mean, I hate to be a moment guy. I know that I am that guy, very emotional and
emotionally driven,
moving in the moment. But obviously, this is a reactionary show, like we always say. It does. Look, I mean, you know what you're signing up for. It is a little hyperbolic.
Yes, the highs are high, the lows are low.
But I do believe that LSU, with kind of continued to find their best in tinkering with the lineups and getting to the personnel and finding who works, is finding their best. And really, the part that gives me the most positive feeling moving forward about LSU is that if they're offensively recognizing one-on-one matchups and they're starting to attack that, I think that LSU is going to be very difficult to guard, right? Because then you check them out of that man and you get them out of that. Then you can run Daniels, you can run Caleb Jackson, you can run Logan Diggs, you can run the ball with what you've shown. I just think that they've offensively they're such a difficult matchup if they are recognizing what was working for them last weekend when, Mississippi State playing man-to-man in the fourth quarter, and it was like, okay, I mean, like, you can do this all day. You're not going to be able to guard him one-on-one. I mean, you looked at him 13 times. He's caught 13 passes. Brian Thomas had 8 targets. He caught 7 of them. I mean, you try to individually match up with these guys, and I know that, it's not all going to be Mississippi State's defensive backfield, but it's still 2 pro wide receivers.
I think the way that BK put it was the best way you can describe the offense. Look, if you leave 2 people on the outside, we're going to throw it deep. If you want to leave them in man coverage, we're going to throw it. If you want to put, if you want to go double somebody on the outside, then we'll run it. You have to make a decision because we have a quarterback that you have to account for. And if he's going to play the way that he played, where he can throw it underneath or he can throw it deep, and then you have to account for that. It makes the defense put so much strain on your defense to have to make a decision on what you think they're going to do. Because while Jane Daniels is the motor of this entire offense, they can still run the ball without him. Like everything else, there's ancillary pieces with the LSU offense that make it go, where it could be simple as if the offensive line can move your defensive line, they'll run it down your throat. And if all the pieces came together against Mississippi State, that's what I think the line is inflated. But that is the reason for optimism, because he made it seem so simple.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Jaden, this is how it could be if you play like the smartest way you could play football. Trust it. And did you hear what he said to LSU Gold? Jane Daniels, where he felt like after talking about leaving Arizona State and coming to LSU, where you could see it in his almost in his voice, where he's like, I didn't know if I could play football anymore.
Right.
Like, it felt like he was so lost at Arizona State because it went so south so fast. I had to get out of there.
Mm-hmm.
And to see him kind of reclaim his confidence, I think you've seen that in the last 2 games with Grambling and Mississippi State. And now, if that continues, because it's been a little bit like this last year, if it keeps going like this, LSU team is dangerous. That's why the 17.5 is with right.
Yeah, right. I mean, but I like it. You know, like
I would love for that to happen.
No doubt. Yeah, right. I like LSU. I mean, I'm going to take the Tigers here, obviously, and I think that come tomorrow night, I really think that with
Arkansas
everything that's gone into it, and Arkansas is really not that good again. You know what I mean? Like again, Mississippi State last week, not that good. Arkansas, KJ Jefferson's a little bit of something that you have to account for sure. But I mean, bad offensive line. When you look at their defensive line, I think this is going to be a really good matchup again for this offensive line, same as last week. And I thought that defensive front for Mississippi State did good work with what LSU was trying to accomplish. LSU's still trying to find their way with their front five on offensive line. So, another good test tomorrow to kind of work out some of the kinks that you're trying to really get smoothed over before you get deeper into conference play. But by all means, LSU is significantly the better team. Again, man on man, right? And if they execute a lot like they did last weekend, I just think that, it could be
they could put 50 on
This could be a blowout. I mean, really. And it would not surprise me at all. Yeah. Not one bit. If they just, crushed them. Look, the Greg Brooks stuff is
real.
That stuff is real inside the locker room, man.
Too.
Those guys are dialed in, locked in for their dude, for their guy.
Give me a decal.
I saw they will be wearing stickers on the helmet.
They're gonna be hunting out there.
Oh, it's gonna be. You see the Frank Wilson speech at Mississippi State?
Oh, hunting hogs.
Oh my God!
Good Lord.
Lock the gate.
I mean, Frank Wilson, man.
60 minutes of hell.
All Louisiana cats around them too.
Right.
I'm putting Denver Harris in that boat.
Offense, defense.
Yeah, it was Louisiana.
Bunch of dogs.
That's my dog. Where my dogs?
He had to kind of check himself.
Yeah.
It was like,
where
protect
my
the ball.
At? Come
you
here.
take the ball.
Yeah,
you protect the ball. You take the ball.
Like
he had to
it's all about the ball.
He says protect the ball so much. He saw Harris and Sam standing right next to him.
You go get it.
Right,
Y'all keep it.
Right.
But that's the crew right there. Those are the dogs.
No doubt.
And Frank has
Frank had him dialed in.
Dude, they were ready to run up the tunnel.
I wanted to. Let's get into it, Frank.
They'll be ready to go tomorrow. So
I like the unedited version.
I like Arkansas big.
Oh, Arkansas.
Excuse me. I like LSU versus.
That would have been an all-time Lee Corso moment.
Everybody fade Jordan.
I like LSU big in this one versus Arkansas. The other games on the docket tomorrow: Florida State -2 in this 11 a.m. window. They are at Clemson. I like Florida State in this one too as well. I think that Clemson. You could watch. We could all witness the wheels fall completely off of Dabo's program tomorrow.
And I'll do it with a smile on my face.
On national television, I will be cheersing at the tailgates wherever we're at.
Name, image, and likeness.
Go ahead and sprint back up that hill, Dabo. It's over.
Oh yeah, they should make him run up it. Can't touch the rock.
Pack the team on your back and sprint up that hill.
Team's always on my back. What are you talking
Why don't you take the slide down to Howard's Rock?
I think Florida State's I think they're gonna roll Clemson.
What's the weather like?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's
Clemson early. Question. But yeah, I think it's going to be especially after Florida State already got their scare last week. You come into a Clemson game and you know that this is what it's all about. This is the ACC on the line. It feels like a spot in the college football playoff. If you play your cards right, they have to win this game, especially with the Clemson team that feels like it's reeling. It feels like Florida State. The only thing that scares me is the line's a little short.
It is a little weird. Florida State -2. It is, but I mean, you're talking about a road favorite in the league against a power name.
Right.
They
just have to do it. If it was more than that, you would think it was definitely a stink.
Alabama and Ole Miss. Bama is giving 6.5, and the over and under with this one is 55.5. I'm taking the points for sure. I am taking Ole Miss in this one as far as the points are concerned. With Ole Miss's offense and Alabama's inability to be offensive, you got to take the number, right? You have to play Ole Miss on this. How does Alabama? It feels like if Ole Miss doesn't win, it's at least going to be a close game.
Oh, see, I would go the other way.
They're going to run them out.
I think either Alabama imposes their will and it becomes
Is it in Alabama?
Yeah, it's in Tuscaloosa
at 2:30, and they're mad.
Oh,
and with that, I'm probably the second biggest believer in Lane Kiffin behind Jordy, but I can see a world where Alabama just don't doubt them.
Yeah,
no doubt,
Just don't doubt them.
This is a very scary place.
And you got former Alabama players coming out talking about the players right now, like talking about the current state of the team. Courtney Upshaw came out and said he doesn't even watch Alabama anymore.
But this is happening.
Tim Williams too.
I saw Tim Williams.
They said they don't even watch Alabama anymore because all they care about is NIL. They don't care about winning. They don't care about the standard of Alabama. So, they might be a little pissed off, and that is a recipe that Ole Miss does not want to walk into.
I love watching Alabama melt.
I know, me too.
But that's where LSU has been.
We've been so many times.
Yeah, LSU has had many former players, but that's not the LSU brand of football.
I hate Les Miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that'll be a great game, but it's almost, you have to bet it.
Mm-hmm.
But
wait, is it Bama -7 or is it?
Yeah, Bama -6.5.
That's what's wonky about it.
Strange line.
It is. It's weird.
Yeah, I guess.
And then later that afternoon, of course, 6:30, a big one in South Bend as Notre Dame will be hosting Ohio State. And this number has bounced around a little bit, but Ohio State is -3 and 55.5 is the number. Again, I would take the home team here. I think that this is going to be a fantastic game. I think it's going to be a close one. But a home dog is usually, for me, in a big game, something that I always go with.
I'd take the under in this game, though. Both the two defenses are pretty good.
55.5?
I was wondering who's going to guard Marvin Harrison Jr.
Notre Dame has a sophomore DB that's pretty
good. Yeah, they were featuring him in the
he's pretty. He's a stud.
Okay, if they have just one guy that can at least run with him.
But I
don't think anybody can, but, just hold on to that horse.
Yeah. Well, they might have to use a little safety over the top.
I think, and you'll probably see a very pro-style offense from Notre Dame with Sam Hartman kind of controlling the clock. Mm-hmm. That's where I could see the under. I've got Notre Dame, too. And Sam Hartman's a born winner. He's done it everywhere he's gone. Finally is in the spotlight, and he seems to be kind of embracing it and in the moment. And he knows he's on a good team, and he knows he's the leader of the team. Ohio State kind of reeling at quarterback. I'm just taking the better quarterback.
Not so fast, my friend. Ohio State has a better defense.
Yeah.
That's why I'm going Ohio State.
They do have a better defense.
Oh, no, I said better quarterback.
Yeah, no, but I'm going with the defense in this game because that's what's going to win this game, not the quarterback.
I think it's going to be Sam Hartman's show.
Who does Sam Hartman have to throw to? That's where I'm.
He's one of those guys who do you have to throw to at Wake Forest?
Yeah, exactly, but I'm just.
He scored 40 a game.
Yeah, but who was Wake Forest playing really?
They were playing in the ACC, going against Clemson and them fellas.
Yeah.
North Carolina. And
Dabo and the boys.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
All right, it's going to be a great weekend. Enjoy it out there. Hit that like button, share button, comment button. Make sure you subscribe if you have not already done so, as we will be back with you on Sunday night, getting you ready for Caskey's Clicker is making its return here to the Jordy Culotta Show. We'll be breaking down each week NFL and college football action with former LSU assistant, former NFL assistant, and now the Denham Springs offensive coordinator, Kyle Caskey, with us here on the Jordy Culotta Show. Hit like, share, and comment. We'll be back with you on Sunday. Have a good weekend.
We'll take this
one
from
the
13-yard line. Holiday, forget it right now. Touchdown.
Hey, Chino, put my headphones up, bro. Right there. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. It's the hottest show around, we ain't gotta flex. Call up G, we get it done, we earning our respect. Tell recruits to let us in, where they going next? Throw up the L's, now we lit, band playing neck. From the boot to the east to the west coast. No matter where we at, we live, mic'd up for show. Open up the phone lines, come and join the show. Make sure you tell your friends about Jordy Culotta Show, yeah. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good time, yeah. Hey, Chino, put my headphones up, bro. Right there. Monday through Friday from 7 to 9. Yeah, you see the notification, we about to go live. We got all your favorite guests, we got them in line. It's the Jordy Culotta Show, come have a good